This season, the Cleveland Browns achieved the imperfect 0-16 season, becoming just the second team in NFL history to do so. In the last 3 seasons, the Browns have won 4 games combined, and their last win came over a year ago on December 24th, 2016. By the time the Browns play again, it'll have been well over 600 days since their last win. If anybody needs to be rebuilt, it's the Cleveland Browns. So welcome everyone to the Cleveland Browns 0-16 rebuild on Madden 18. What's up everybody? It's time to begin a new project, and as you can tell, we are going to rebuild one of the worst teams in NFL history, the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. With the help of Play Now Live here in Madden 18, I will take control of the Browns, and this is going to be a rebuild series as I try to be the GM of the Browns that they need to fix this team. The Browns were a mess this year, and despite that, they have plans to keep Hugh Jackson as their coach after not winning a single game. What better team to rebuild than the Browns? They have some good players, and they have a lot of great draft picks upcoming that are very high. But we have to begin the rebuild here right away. I think it's time to give a new owner to the Cleveland Browns. Because if you're going to fix something as big as a football franchise, it starts at the top. Who could actually bring positivity and hope back to Cleveland? Someone with a bunch of money from some other industry? A lifelong fan who might do a better job managing the roster? Honestly? Or a former player who might know a little bit about what it takes to have a successful team? I can't think of anyone better to be the owner of this team than Browns legend and one of the best running backs of all time, Jim Brown, the new man in charge with the Browns. So in this series, we're going to focus, of course, on the rebuild and the roster here in Cleveland, and it's going to be a different kind of series as I have wanted to do a lot of new things this year on the channel and really prioritize new ideas and throwing things out there and seeing what you enjoy. So your feedback is very important to things like this, where I'm trying something completely different. Now, I could not just get into the wild card round, or at least I didn't think I could, so I have to force the loss here. But I bet you if I didn't, we'd still lose. So you know what? I'm just going to sim it and not even bother doing the force. But anyway, we're going to look at this roster, and today I kind of want to just go through an off-season. Not sure how big the video is going to be, but I'll kind of go from there after this episode is complete. So where do we begin looking at this team? Well, I think you have to look at the offense. That's the side of the ball that you hope puts up points. DeShone Kizer is the current quarterback, and I like Kizer coming out of Notre Dame. Obviously, it's hard to have a lot of development when you don't have a great receiving core around you and there are injuries and just everything is so incomplete. You can't go 0-16 by accident. It's only happened twice. So, is Kizer the quarterback we want here in Cleveland? I'm not sure. I still have some faith in Kizer, but when you have 2 top 5 picks, which the game better have the picks in here, by the way, a 1 and a 1, perfect. I need to do whatever it takes to force actually every result from week 17, so I probably will force everything so we have picks 1 and 4. But basically, we have DeShone Kizer, and we have Josh Gordon, who had a little bit of a resurgence this year, but with slow development at 26. Do you really think he's going to become an elite receiver again? That might be a stretch with these ratings. You have a chance of doing that with Corey Coleman, but he was also injured this year. And then you have lower rated players like Ricardo Lewis and Sammy Coates. I mean, it should tell you something when a division rival is willing to trade you a player. That doesn't happen very often. So Sammy Coates, probably not going to be a huge part of our future with that low route running and low catching. I like David Njoku. That's a player you can build around right there. Very dynamic receiver. Of course, we have Joe Thomas, Myles Garrett, who should have, no problem becoming a household name and one of the best players on the defensive side of the football. And we have a great offensive line. One of the things we don't have to worry about is the line. We just have to get skill players and shore up some depth areas J.C. Treader kind of regressed this year, so that's a little bit of a concern. And we can probably do better than Sean Coleman at right tackle. But I mean, 3 out of 5? Most teams would love to have 3 out of 5 and are nowhere close to having 3 out of 5 great starters. So, I think it's time to get to work. What's the first order of business? So, one of the big challenges about this... Wait a minute. It actually has players scouted. I did not expect that. Are they all scouted? Is that supposed to be this way? I did not realize that it would have players scouted for you once you got into Play Now Live, because that was something that could have easily been overlooked by the devs as you join in late in the season without full points. So we do have a lot of info about the first rounders, which is very good considering we're having 2 very early picks. But also most of the second round players are already scouted. So we're going to go through these players quick and see which ones are worth putting high on our board. So we have 3 quarterbacks here. Marquise Christie from Ohio State, who I like those ratings. Those are pretty good. Do we want to replace Kaiser after 1 year? Then there's Kevin Fox and Anton Greenberry from Louisville. So 3 options there for early quarterbacks. Then it's gone through to scout a couple running backs for us as well. So I know one of the things I want to do on this team is I want to change the role they have Jabril Peppers playing. I don't like him in that deep safety role. He can do so much more. It's like having a Ferrari and only driving it like 30 miles an hour down the like residential neighborhood. What a waste, right? So we're going to get Jabril Peppers into a spot where he can actually make some plays for us. And there might be a couple safety options here, like Derek Huerta from Baylor. And there's also Travis Evans. I know that Derek Kindred also does not have very good coverage ratings, so I might have to really focus on safety. And we're going to have the money, I believe, to do that. Also, like linebacker, I think needs a little work outside of Jamie Collins. Ran out of points here pretty quickly, as you can see. So I'm glad it has some players already scouted for me. That does help. But we also have big decisions to make here on contracts here in just a moment. I'm not sure how many videos this first part is going to turn into because I might really take my time with this. But we have to decide on Isaiah Crowell, Josh Gordon. I don't know, maybe this will be like an introductory video where we kind of lay the foundation and then I see what you guys think and you can leave your feedback. I've never done a series quite like this one exactly. I know the rebuilds are a popular thing. And I did a rebuild series on my main channel in a live stream format with the Lions. And in that one, I was going through games and actually like simming a lot of them, but also watching a lot of the games unfold. And it turned into a really fun experience. So I don't know if that's what you'd want this series to become. I just thought it might be fun to try this rebuild thing and do it with one of the worst teams in NFL history. I love drafting and building rosters, so what better chance to do it than right here to spice up the channel and maybe launch a new type of fun content on this channel. So I've had ideas to do rebuilds on like Madden 18 obviously, but also thought about going back to old games like the older Maddens and trying to rebuild teams on there with their different types of off seasons and whatnot. So if that's something you're interested in, leave your feedback in the comment section. But just know that this year I am trying a lot more things, spending a lot more time coming up with ideas and actually executing on them, more importantly, this year. By the way, if you wanted to do something similar, you go to like online franchise and within there you can pick your starting point. And obviously you saw me in the very beginning choose week 16, but you could do whatever you wanted to. You have the rosters and I'm assuming all the stats as well. Although I'm not going to have week 16 stats. So that's really cool if you're into that like I am. Oh no. Are those his real numbers? 9 touchdowns, 21 picks? I need to look this up for myself. Oh my, that's real. Uh-oh. We did it, everybody. We have brought the Browns to 0-16. I have all the records in here the way they should be. I think. I don't think I missed anything. But there we are at the very bottom. And the Texans 4-12 giving us their first round pick as well. Don't you think the Browns would rather have Deshaun Watson after how we started the season? Anyway, that's not our situation, but we do have a couple picks very early to work on fixing this. But before we do that, we have to decide what's happening to this staff. Hugh Jackson, I'm sorry, but I don't think any head coach should be able to keep their job after a winless 0-16 campaign. Hugh Jackson has been fired, and now we move on toward the offseason where we can begin to fix this team. First, we have to hire some staff, of course. We don't have a head coach anymore. Who could we possibly hire? Well, I think we stay on the offensive side when it comes to the type of offense or the type of head coach we want. I still think that you want to have an offensive coach to help Deshaun Kaiser, and if Bill O'Brien is available, why not go with Bill O'Brien? He's had a good reputation when it comes to helping out quarterbacks, and he obviously played a role in Deshaun Watson's early success. So why not bring Bill O'Brien and that Texan first-round pick to Cleveland? There you go. We have a new head coach, Browns. That's how easy it was. Jim Brown has hired Bill O'Brien. That's the first step. Where it's really going to hurt me, though, is not knowing much about the mid-round players in this draft. Almost everything has been for early players. So finding that value later, that's going to be a lot more challenging than normal. But it can be done. I just need to find the right players, like Sean Evans. Undrafted, yeah, but come on. You know what I look for. Pass rush, power moves. Well, how about that? The Minnesota Vikings win the Super Bowl. And that brings us to the offseason. What a way to end it, too. That's pretty cool. Now, we have to negotiate with 21 players to see who we're going to bring back and who we're going to let go. So, just kind of looking at the state of the roster right now, I think receiver is something we have to consider upgrading during the offseason. Quarterback possibly as well, especially when you have these opportunities. 2 top 5 picks. It's hard to say no. Could use a little offensive line help. Is Treader hurt? Yes, he is. I like David Njoku. And then defensively, I'm really focused on the secondary, allowing Jabril Peppers to go to a different role and hopefully thrive. Like, at free safety with 56 zone coverage, I just don't think that's going to work out very well. I don't know if I want him there. Where do we move Jabril Peppers? Well, I'm kind of leaning towards possibly linebacker, outside linebacker. What about offense? He has the skills to play running back, that's for sure. I just don't know what I want to do with him. I just like having options. So we're going to start here with Isaiah Crowell, and I just don't think the right idea here is to pay a running back, especially what he is asking for, when we have a player like Duke Johnson, who I'm a big fan of. And also, we could draft another running back or sign somebody else to be that complimentary guy and let Duke Johnson finally get his chance to be the star. So Isaiah Crowell is going to become a free agent. Now, Josh Gordon's another interesting one here. It's not a ton of money, but it's also not all that cheap. I'm kind of tempted to let him test because I don't think long-term I don't want to deal with that contract and the lack of development there. So if I can go on the open market, get like 2 years, even if I pay more per year, I'm a little more interested in that idea. Jamie Metter at defensive tackle. 3 years, $11 million. I might also just let him go. I have said no to every player so far. I haven't found one that I thought was intriguing enough to re-sign until I got to Hollywood Higgins here. I do like Rashard Higgins. I think there's still a lot of room for him to grow as a player. So if we offer him a 2-year contract, up that signing bonus a little bit. Come on. There we go. We keep Hollywood. I just realized how different this roster is going to be next year because I'm about to let 20 players just hit the street without a single offer. I don't think that anybody here in the 60s is going to garner a lot of attention from me either. Maybe there's somebody? Danny Vitale? I don't think so. Pretty good pass block though. But no, I'm done. I do gotta say though, CJ Smith, he said no before I could, so good job there. I almost continue without a training staff. I know things are a little bit dysfunctional with the Browns, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad to where I just forget to hire people to certain jobs. Alright, so I guess we can start signing free agents that have hit the open market with our $53 million in cap room. Hello, Drew Brees. That would sure fix things for a little bit, but the Browns need a little bit more than that, although Cleveland just needs anything. I mean, they just went 0-16. The previous year went 1-15. The previous year went 3-13. That's 4 wins in 3 years and 44 losses. So one of the bigger names on the market is Malcolm Butler, and this is not going to be easy, but I know the secondary has to get better, and it can be tough in Madden 18 to upgrade your secondary with not the best draft picks, and very rarely do the best players at positions hit the market anyway. So what's it going to take to get Malcolm Butler for a couple of years? More than that, obviously. More than what we just offered. So I'm going to focus on the signing bonus here because we can. And we have that cap space. There we go. Top offer now for Malcolm Butler. That could really help us out. Here's one that might go a little under the radar, and he's hurt right now, but he should be ready by the beginning of a season. How about Kerry Hyder? If we change to a 3-4, I can move him to outside linebacker, but I might just stay 4-3 to keep things a little bit easier. But Kerry Hyder, I think, is a solid player, and if there's not much interest right now, we are going to make an offer for about $4 million per season. Brandon Fusco would be nice depth if we could just sign him on for a short term. Injuries are going to happen, and I think Fusco's a solid backup. Definitely not a flashy move right here, but we could also sign Levine Toilolo just so we have a blocking tight end on the roster. I want to focus on David Njoku as the primary, but I have somebody else who's a better blocker alongside him. Just trying to make this a small offer. So there's no interest right now in Josh Gordon. So what if we do what I said earlier and offer like a 2-year, like maybe a $12 million contract. We'll give him 6 a year, so it's more than what he wanted. Gives you a chance to cash in again before you're 30. Like, how do you say no to that deal right there? Another injury situation here as Spencer Ware was hurt to begin the year, and that opened the door for Kareem Hunt to have one of the best starts to a career we've seen in a while. But having Spencer Ware be the complement to Duke Johnson is something I would like. I wouldn't mind drafting somebody, but if I could instead sign someone like Spencer Ware and then use a mid-round pick on somebody else, I wouldn't mind that. So we simmed to stage 2. Any good news? Yes. Oh no, that's rejected. That's bad news. Malcolm Butler says no, but Josh Gordon says yes, and we now have a trainer. So that's good, but we haven't gotten better yet. We did not get Malcolm Butler like I hoped we would. Now Spencer Ware is getting very expensive. I'll just withdraw the offer there. Where are my negotiations? Great. Everyone heard me talking about Kerry Hyder. Only one for Toilolo. Fusco now has a market. And if we look where Breeze went, that's Arizona. Malcolm Butler heads out to Buffalo. Didn't I offer more money than that? Alright, instead of Spencer Ware, we'll basically do the same thing, but to one of his ex-teammates, Sharkandrick West. Maybe we can actually win that one. We do see Sam Bradford and Teddy Bridgewater getting pretty good offers here. I didn't want to make a big offer on a free agent quarterback, especially with having 2 early picks. If we want a quarterback that bad, if we're willing to go get one, why not use one of those early picks when we know there are good prospects out there? Wouldn't be a bad idea to get a player like Adam Humphries either. Not much interest right now, but good route running and catching. We can probably get this done for like $9.5 million. We're desperate, okay? I know he's not the same Darrelle Revis that everyone used to fear, but maybe Darrelle Revis wants to come to Cleveland and help just have one more nice season. We can also look at the combine grades now, so let's do a little bit of that. I'm really interested in these quarterbacks. So Marquise Christie, not a dynamic athlete, not going to run very fast. He's a pocket passer. at 6'6", 225. I think he's my favorite quarterback so far. If you look at Anton Greenberry, who also has A- throw power, good short, good medium accuracy, both are really good, and both are pocket passers. Actually, I probably have to break the tie by going with Greenberry, who has better medium accuracy and had a better combine grade. Less throw power here for Kevin Fox, but he can run a little bit. So we have options there. If we want to go cornerback early, there's also Francis Goodwin from Ohio State. Big man coverage there, press and zone, 4.44 440. Sounds like the kind of guy that you draft and then forget about that position a little bit. Have him just dominate from the very beginning. That'd be nice. So that's the way we could begin this little draft here. There are also some good offensive linemen, but I probably don't want to draft them very early. I want to try filling in some other needs with impact players. I always like finding those good combine grades early. Stephon Hardwick from Auburn. Well, I guess the combine, he had like a good vertical, but everything else is pretty low rated. Maybe we can find 7.6. Fisher Bell. That is the kind of talent we're looking for. 4.31 speed. Let's go in the 6th round. Give me a tackle beyond the early rounds too. Carter Drescher might be an option. Rashawn Lemon, low pass block. Come on, give me one that has like a B or B- pass block. I'm not gonna find that. There we go. Contract accepted by Darrelle Revis and Adam Humphries and Sharkhandrick West. We miss out on Fusco and Kerry Hyder as expected. So why don't we check on the state of this roster again. Where's J.C. Tretter? There's no way you sign an offensive lineman to a 1-year deal. He's not gone, is he? I also never checked on retirements, but there's Tretter. So yeah, I guess he just was injured and not listed there. So at running back now, we have Duke Johnson and Sharkhandrick West. I'm okay there. And then Corey Coleman, Josh Gordon, Adam Humphries, Hollywood Higgins. Could still use someone to stand out or hope that either Coleman or Gordon does that. I like Njoku, like Joe Thomas, of course. Glad he didn't retire. Could use a right tackle. We have Ogba and Nassib, Myles Garrett. Could use definitely a pass rusher. Then Jamie Collins, Joe Schobert, Christian Kirksey. Revis joins the cornerbacks. I like Buddy Calhoun. We can work around him a little bit, but I prefer to have him be like our 3rd best corner, not our 2nd best. But I mean, I like those early corners, so we might have that option. And where do I move Jabril Peppers? I think I'm going to move him to right outside linebacker right now. They have him labeled as a pass rusher. I'll label him as a prototype. Has a lot of abilities, a lot of fun skills that you can find a way to use, and you probably shouldn't just keep him 25 yards off the line in deep coverage. So, I think Peppers here. I know it's 61 overall, but, oh man, that block shedding is so low. What do I do with Peppers? If I move him to receiver, the route running is really low, and the catching isn't great for a receiver, but maybe running back or something? Well, that is better, having Jabril Peppers on offense, but it's fun to use players like him on defense. But with bad block shed, bad coverage, maybe this is his calling, to go play running back instead. We're a little desperate right now for a free safety, so I think we'll just extend a 1-year offer here to Corey Graham and have that kind of just be our solution for now, for the time being. You might ask why I'm not doing a bunch of trading. I like to rebuild my way, which is more through the draft. So I'm not looking to do a lot of trading in my rebuilds. And now we have accepted offers from Levine Toilolo and Corey Graham. So that helps out a couple of those other roles. And we have one more round of scouting to do before advancing on to the draft. And I think I'll do the draft in the next video. I want to see your feedback on this and get a little feedback here on what you think about this and what I can do to make it better, or just any thoughts that you have. But I do like this, and I would love to do this on some older Maddens that I haven't played in years and relearn their mechanics. I think that'd be really fun to do. Like, I called it Retro Rebuild in my notes, which is pretty slick alliteration there. I'm a big fan of that. If we go to, what do I want to scout really? I guess a pass rusher would be really nice to get. Ross Miller is an option, but you only have so many first-round picks. Eric Stout. Man, I'm just not finding a ton here that I like. Avius Harrington could be an option, though. If I go to right end, I might have to spend the rest of my points, like, right here. Come on, block shed. Prefer to see a power move or finesse move there. And then Barry. No pass rush moves. So if I need to guess one player whose best skill is a pass rush move, I'll go with Reggie McLaughlin here. The speed rusher. There we go. B+ finesse move. Say no more. I want McLaughlin. So I just reordered the entire depth chart, and this is what we're left with. An offense that is mostly the same, but now has Duke Johnson as the starter and Sharkandrick West. Then we have Levine Toilolo and Adam Humphries as well. Defensively, I've moved Jabril Peppers to offense, and I don't know if he's staying there, but he might be best as a running back right now. I didn't mess with XP sliders, but it's off season, so it doesn't matter right now. I could always plug those right in. Could use a cornerback here, another safety, different off-ball linebacker. Jamie Collins, he's hurt, so he can't go into the top spot there. And then Myles Garrett, Danny Shelton, Larry Ogunjobi, and Carl Nassib. Let me see Ogunjobi's ratings here. Like, the Browns have some good young talent on their team. It's just, you realize how much of a team sport it is when you have some of these players and you still can't get a single victory. Yeah, that's solid right there. That's really good. Carl Nassib. Not sure if I think he's going to be a great player. 75 strength is really low, and then the pass rush skills need to work. Like, he's a career backup to me. Nate Orchard I like coming out of Utah, but he is not developing like you hoped he would. Also kind of a one-trick pony. At least we have Myles Garrett. We have Myles Garrett. That's the one positive to take away from all this. Do we have a punter and a kicker? We do. We're good there. I might have Jabril Peppers be third down back this year. Why not? I got to get him on the field somehow. And the Browns put him in a role that I didn't really like very much. Alright, so the draft is up next. This will be a little mini-series here if you want to see this continue. Remember to leave your likes, your comments, your thoughts on what you thought about this first episode here, the 0-16 Browns Rebuild. Thank you all for watching the video, and I'm looking forward to see what you think of all of this. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time.